What if the universe isn't ignoring you? It's just not hearing what you think you're saying. You're not failing at manifesting because you're doing it wrong, you're just trying too hard, with tension, fear, and pressure clouding your signal. Like shouting into a canyon and hearing silence. Not because you're quiet, but because you're off key. According to HeartMath Institute and Stanford research, the field doesn't respond to effort, it responds to coherence. Maybe you're doing too much of what's not needed. So if the universe doesn't need your struggle, what is it actually listening to? Stay with me. What comes next might realign everything. What do you think? Let me know below. Have you ever tried to tune an old radio, turning the dial slowly, only to hear static until, suddenly, a clear voice cuts through? That's how the quantum field works. It doesn't hear effort. It hears signal. And that signal is your emotional frequency. The field doesn't respond to how badly you want something, how many affirmations you repeat, or how hard you visualize. It responds to coherence, a state where your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in energetic alignment, with no internal conflict. HeartMath Institute defines coherence as the harmonious rhythm between heart and brain, measurable through heart rate variability. When you're calm, clear, and congruent inside, your frequency sharpens. But when you're anxious, overthinking, doubting, or forcing, your signal is blurred. Just like a weak radio wave, it doesn't connect. Think about it. If you say, "I am abundant," but your nervous system is locked in fear, what signal are you really sending? According to research from Stanford's Department of Psychophysiology, our subconscious patterns more than 90% of our behavior broadcast the true frequency, not our words, not our wishes. So here's the truth. You don't need to do more. You need to tune better. The field mirrors what you are, not what you're trying to be. That's a powerful shift. Have you felt this in your life? When things flowed effortlessly, wasn't it when you felt aligned, at peace? Let me know in the comments. What signal do you think you've been broadcasting? And stay with me, because next we'll unpack the human misunderstanding. Why we've been taught that struggle equals progress. If this resonates, give it a like, hit subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. What if the very thing you've been taught to trust effort is the thing keeping you stuck? Since childhood, we've been conditioned to believe that the more we do, the more we deserve. That results come from sweat, repetition, and control. Society praises hustle. Schools reward the child who tries the hardest, not necessarily the one who's most aligned. You were taught to try, but not to trust. And so you push harder, repeat more affirmations, control more variables, thinking that effort equals progress. But in the quantum field, it doesn't work like that. Picture two people. One wakes up and does 10 rituals every day. Scripting, visualizing, breath work, cold showers, affirmations. But beneath it all, doubt, scarcity, performance. The other wakes up, breathes deeply, feels peace, and simply is the frequency of what they choose. Who manifests faster? Studies in quantum coherence from CERN and HeartMath show sustained emotional alignment influences the electromagnetic field more than surface actions. It's not about doing more. It's about being clearer. You don't attract what you repeat. You attract what you embody. We've misunderstood progress as strain. But energy doesn't flow through tension, it flows through openness. Like a river, reality bends not to force, but to resonance. So the next time you feel like doing one more ritual, ask, am I doing this to align to prove? Let that question linger. And what about you? Have you ever done everything right, yet felt further away? Share in the comments, I'd love to hear your experience. And stay close, because next, we'll explore a truth that can free you. The field does not judge, the field reflects. You don't have to prove you're worthy, you just have to tune in. Ready for that shift? Let's go deeper. Imagine standing in front of a mirror that doesn't reflect your face, your clothes, or your words, but your energy. That's the quantum field. It doesn't judge. It doesn't analyze your past, question your worth, or weigh your effort. It simply reflects what you are in this moment, vibrationally. Like a frequency-sensitive mirror, it tunes into your state of being, not your intentions. You can say, "I'm abundant," all day, but if your field is broadcasting fear or scarcity, that's what gets mirrored back. Dr. David Hawkins' map of consciousness shows us this clearly. Emotions like shame, 20 Hz, guilt, 30 Hz, fear, 100 Hz, and anger, 150 Hz, vibrate at low frequencies. But when you shift into courage, 200 Hz, acceptance, 350 Hz, or love, 500 Hz, your entire energetic signature changes, and so does what the field reflects. The field doesn't care if you're spiritual or skeptical, experienced or new. It doesn't care if you meditate for 10 hours or haven't touched a ritual in months. It listens to one thing: your dominant frequency, your emotional truth, the felt tone beneath the surface. Think about that. What are you radiating most of the time? So instead of chasing outcomes, the real work is in gently attuning your signal, not fixing yourself, just returning to resonance. That's where things begin to shift. What frequency do you feel you've been sending into the world lately? Be honest with compassion. Let me know in the comments. And don't go anywhere, because up next we'll explore what coherence really means. Not peace on the surface, but deep, root-level alignment, where nothing inside you is at war. Feeling that invitation? Let's keep unfolding this together. Coherence isn't calmness on the surface. It's not pretending to be positive while your gut is screaming. It's a deeper alignment where your mind, body, and emotions are not at war. Imagine a lake, not just still on top, but clear all the way to the bottom. That's coherence. Not just feeling okay, but radiating one unified signal without contradiction. And here's the truth that might surprise you. You don't need to maintain a high vibration. You need a clear one. Coherence is clarity without inner conflict. The HeartMath Institute defines it neurologically and physiologically as a state where heart rate variability, HRV, is smooth and synchronized, usually accessed through slow, rhythmic breathing and emotional regulation. In this state, your nervous system is balanced, your mind is present, and your energy becomes focused, magnetic. But how do you know if you're slipping out of coherence? It's in the subtle signs. Constantly checking your phone for signs of your manifestation. Feeling rushed, like you have to do more to make it work. Saying, "I trust the universe," while secretly looping in fear. It's not about perfection. It's about noticing when your signal gets fuzzy. And here's a beautiful reminder. Coherence doesn't mean you're always joyful. It means you're not fragmented. Even sadness can be coherent if you're fully present with it. Alignment means honesty with your energy, not spiritual performance. So ask yourself, am I clear, or just trying to be high vibe? The field responds to congruence, not pressure. And when your inner signal becomes steady, the outer world listens. What do you think? Have you ever noticed the difference between being high energy and being clear? Drop a comment below, let's reflect together. And stay close, because in the next part, we'll explore something essential. Why needing blocks receiving? A paradox that might just shift everything. Need is not just a feeling, it's a frequency. And in the quantum field, needing blocks receiving. Why? Because the moment you need something, you're energetically declaring, "I don't have it." The field, like a mirror, doesn't respond to your wish, it reflects your state. Desire is a spark, a soft forward motion. But need? Need is noise. It's a static signal saying, "This is missing." And the field reflects that signal back over and over. Think about it. Have you ever been short on money and tried to manifest abundance but felt tight, anxious, pressured? That pressure is the broadcast. And what does it echo back? More tightness, more lack. Dr. Joe Dispenza's research shows that when your emotional baseline is fear or urgency, the body stays in survival, and in survival, creativity and receptivity shut down. There's nothing wrong with wanting, but when desire turns into desperation, the signal gets distorted. So how do we shift? By releasing the tension around timing, by letting go of the chase, by feeling the essence of what we desire now, even before it shows up. Here's a gentle question to ask yourself. If I already had this, how would I feel, move, Breathe today. That's the signal the field responds to. Not your longing, but your living. Have you felt this difference? That subtle yet powerful shift from craving to calm allowing? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And stay with me, because next, we'll explore something we rarely talk about. That strange moment right before your manifestation arrives when your frequency begins to wobble. Why does that happen? Let's decode it together. Have you ever felt it, that moment, right before everything is about to arrive? The signs are lining up, the synchronicities increase, your intuition whispers, it's close. And then, suddenly, it slips away. You feel wobbly, anxious, disconnected. Why does this happen? Because just before a manifestation collapses into form, your system often panics. The unfamiliarity of receiving triggers the subconscious mind. You unconsciously slip out of alignment right at the edge of breakthrough. It's not sabotage, it's safety. Your nervous system, trained for survival more than expansion, senses change and equates it with danger. Dr. Nicole LePera and HeartMath's research show that the body prefers familiar discomfort over unknown joy. So, in that final stretch, you shift from flow to control. You start watching the clock, doubting the timing, refreshing your bank app or inbox. And just like that, your frequency moves from stable, shaky, controlling, signal lost. Imagine a simple graph. On the vertical axis, stability of your signal. On the horizontal, time. As you approach the moment of collapse, the signal peaks. But if fear enters, the curve drops unless you hold the line. The key is to stay in coherence, especially when the mind wants to cling. When it feels most tempting to do something, that's usually when you need to do nothing. Just stay steady, stay available, stay clear. Have you experienced this? That edge of miracle moment that made you question everything? Share in the comments, I'd love to hear. And if this is resonating with your journey, take a breath with me. You're not falling behind. You're just learning how to hold your frequency until reality reflects it. Up next, how to reset your signal the moment you realize you've drifted. A powerful tool most people overlook. If this video speaks to your soul, share it with someone who needs it, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss what's coming. Have you ever smiled and said, "It's already mine," but deep down felt like you were crossing your fingers, hoping the universe heard you? That's the subtle misalignment that so many miss. Because in the quantum field, it's not what you say that gets reflected, it's what you signal. And often, without realizing it, you're speaking certainty while vibrating uncertainty. You're affirming, "I have it," but the field is picking up, "I hope it comes." This is the moment to reset, not by pushing harder, but by coming home to coherence. The quantum reset ritual is simple, yet powerful. It's a gentle interruption to your default frequency, like changing the song mid-track. Step 1. Pause. When you feel off, spiraling, or trying too hard, stop. Interrupt the momentum. Step 2. Place your hand on your chest. This brings your awareness to your heart space, where real coherence begins. Step 3. Take 3 deep breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. With each breath, soften. Release the need to control. Step 4. Ask yourself, what signal am I actually sending right now? Be honest. No judgment. Just awareness. Step 5. Choose again. Whisper inwardly. I am the version who already has this. My body knows. My breath knows. My energy remembers. This 1-minute practice can change your field. According to research from the HeartMath Institute, just 60 seconds of intentional breathing with heart awareness improves HRV, balances the autonomic nervous system, and increases emotional clarity. You're not forcing a new frequency, you're returning to the one that was always yours. Try it next time you notice yourself refreshing your email for signs or doubting your timeline. Because every time you reset, you refine the signal. You sharpen the mirror. Have you felt this before knowing the words but sensing the wobble underneath? What helps you return to alignment? Share in the comments below, I'd love to know. And stay with me, because in the next chapter, we'll uncover something rarely discussed but deeply impactful: how your environment silently shapes your signal. Let's explore how outer energy becomes inner frequency. Have you ever tried to tune into your favorite song but all you hear is static? Because 5 other stations are bleeding through? That's what happens when your environment is filled with chaotic energy. The truth is, your frequency isn't just shaped from within. It's also entrained by what surrounds you. People, sounds, screens, conversations, even the social media you scroll, all of it carries a field. And your body, like a tuning fork, picks it up. You can't send a clear signal if you're living inside noisy channels. Research in neuroenergetics shows that our brains are constantly syncing to external rhythms, music, voices, even electromagnetic fields in crowded cities. If you're trying to align with peace while your environment broadcasts urgency, contradiction is inevitable. So ask yourself, what am I allowing into my space, my nervous system, my subconscious? Are the rooms you enter full of noisier neutrality? Are your conversations lifting your looping fear? Sometimes the most powerful upgrade isn't another ritual but choosing stillness, choosing fewer tabs open, choosing voices that mirror where you're going, not where you've been. You deserve a field that supports your clarity. What's one thing in your current environment that might be distorting your signal? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to reflect with you. Next, we'll explore something subtle but vital, the difference between acting as if and pretending, a nuance that can change everything. Stay close. There's a moment quiet but profound when you stop pretending and start embodying. And that moment makes all the difference, because acting as if you already have it is not the same as faking it. Pretending comes from lack, a hidden ache whispering, maybe if I act this way, it'll finally come. But true embodiment comes from coherence, a calm, rooted knowing that needs no proof. Coherence isn't performance, it's presence, a stable inner state that says, I am already it. Not because the outer world has confirmed it, but because your frequency already holds it. That's the shift. That's the secret. So how do you know if you're acting or pretending? Try these 3 questions honestly, gently. How would I feel if I knew it was already on the way? How would I breathe, speak, and walk if it had already arrived? What makes me believe I need to prove something to receive it? Feel into those. Let your body answer, not your mind. Studies from Stanford Center for Mind, Brain, and Computation reveal that the nervous system responds more strongly to felt safety than imagined outcomes. So when you embody your future through posture, tone, energy, you're training your nervous system to normalize the timeline you desire. And when that becomes your new baseline, the field responds, life responds. So the question isn't, am I doing it right? The question is, am I being the one who already knows it's done? Have you noticed this shift in yourself from performing to presence? What helped you feel the difference? Share with me in the comments. I'd love to hear. And stay tuned, because next, we'll explore a surprising frequency that's often overlooked in manifestation, yet quietly anchors your timeline. Forgiveness. Why forgiving is not weakness, but coherence in motion. What if forgiveness isn't about the past, but about frequency? Most people think forgiveness is a moral act, something we should do. But in the quantum field, forgiveness is energetic hygiene. It's not about condoning what happened. It's about clearing the static in your signal. Because as long as you carry resentment, buried pain, or old tension, you're broadcasting mixed frequencies. Many are trying to manifest with clogged channels holding onto echoes of betrayal, shame, or regret, and those echoes distort the field. Forgiveness isn't for them, it's for you. To reset, to release, to become clear again. It's not about thinking differently. It's about not carrying it anymore. You don't have to understand why it happened. You just have to stop letting that memory shape your energy now. Heart math studies show that unprocessed emotional residue lowers HRV and disrupts heart-brain coherence. But when forgiveness is felt, not just thought, it immediately shifts the body into a more regulated, receptive state. So ask gently, is there anything I'm still carrying that blurs my signal? What would happen if I simply stopped rehearsing that pain? Forgiveness is not weakness. It's a vibrational cleanse. What's your experience with this? Have you ever felt lighter after letting go, not mentally, but emotionally? Share in the comments. I'd love to know. And in the next chapter, We'll explore a powerful sign you're entering deep alignment, when you stop needing to check if it's working. Let's keep unfolding this. True alignment feels like peace, not performance. One of the clearest signs you've entered coherence is this. You stop checking if it's working. You no longer refresh your bank account, reread old messages, or wait for proof. Because when you're truly being the version who already has it, you don't need reassurance. You are the reassurance. Think of someone deeply in love. They don't check their phone every 5 minutes to confirm it. They just know. Their body knows. Their energy holds it. That's the same with manifestation. When you fully are the frequency, external confirmation becomes optional. This isn't indifference. It's trust at a cellular level. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza's research, the brain and body begin to biologically wire into the future you emotionally embody. When your nervous system normalizes the desired state, it no longer feels like a fantasy, it becomes your baseline. Want to anchor this state? Try this micro practice each morning. Sit still for just 2 minutes. Place your hand on your heart and ask, what frequency am I bringing into today? Let that awareness shape how you move, speak, breathe. No forcing, no chasing, just coherence in motion. So, what would your day look like if you no longer needed to ask, is it working? What would shift if your energy became the answer? I'd love to hear. Drop a comment below and share your reflection. And stay close, because next we'll bring it all together. You don't need to push harder, you just need to get clearer. Let's land this message together. What if the breakthrough you've been chasing isn't behind more effort, but beneath more clarity? You don't need another ritual. You don't need to affirm louder, visualize harder, or meditate longer. What you need is to stop sending mixed signals. The field isn't confused. You are. And the moment your frequency becomes clear, the mirror of reality responds instantly. It's like tuning an instrument. You don't need to play more notes. You just need to get in tune. You've heard this message in every form throughout this journey. You don't manifest through force. You manifest through coherence. Through an inner consistency where your thoughts, emotions, body language, and breath all speak the same language. Certainty. So let this be your mantra. I trust the field. I no longer wait. I already am. Not hoping, not asking. Being. Because manifestation is not about convincing the universe. It's about becoming a match. And once you do, reality bends without resistance. Let's ground this now. In the comments if this resonates, right? I have stopped begging. I am becoming. Let it be a declaration, a shift, a signal. And remember, clarity is more magnetic than effort will ever be. So, what's one signal you're ready to stop sending? What's one truth you're ready to live instead? Let me know below. I'd love to witness it with you. If this message stirred something in you, share it with someone you care about. And if you'd like to keep going deeper on this path, make sure you like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so the next frequency finds you at the perfect time. You're not far. You're just one clear signal away.